Hey, everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest, somebody I've meant to have on the show for a very, very, very long time. Finally got him here. He is currently 3.5 weeks, give or take, out from the Romania Pro. He is a legend in the 212 division. I do not use that term lightly. There are not many of them. Guy Cisternino, how are you, Guy?
How you doing, Ron? Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, this is long overdue.
It was a long time just today to get to this point, so.
Yeah, we're doing this on a Thursday night, and he's in New Jersey. This crazy, what is it? A rainstorm? What do they got? Like tornadoes?
It's so I drove to Long Island today, and I flew there. The first time I flew to Long Island, like I cruised there, hour and 45 minutes. Photo shoot with MFit at a gym, and then I think it's called Siege Fitness or Siege Gym in Mineola, and then I drove home. I left there like 3:45, so I was like, I'm flirting with being fucked with traffic, but I was like, even if it takes me 2.5 hours, that's still okay.
Yeah.
It started downpouring. It took me over 4.5 hours to get home.
Oh man, yeah, weather, man.
It's just at every, it's life, man. People are like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I just do it,
dude. Did you have like extra food with you?
I have my meals with me. It's not extra food. Like I was prepared to train up there, but because the photo shoot got done early, I was like, let me get home, get to my dogs, and do what I got to do. And ended up backfiring pretty good.
Well, I'm just concerned that you missed a meal. Like it horrifies me when people miss meals.
Not missing anything, Ron. I just got done training. Took me forever to get home. Trees down, power lines down. Yeah, I trained at 9:30 at night. It's 11:30 now. I trained and ran home to get to the. We're supposed to do an interview around 9, 10 o'clock. It's 11:30.
Shit happens, man. Shit happens. Before we start on the Guy Cisternino story, I've talked to a lot of people about the Olympia. Everyone had stuff to say, commentary about the Open. A few of the people I talked to, they either didn't really comment on the 212 at all, or they didn't have a lot to say. I know you were there. It was one of the first times you were in the audience and set up on stage. You certainly have a much deeper, better insight into the 212 Olympia. So what were your thoughts on, let's just stick with the top three as it shook out, Kamal, Derek, and Sean. Is that where you had them scored?
Well, I mean, to be fair, out of those three, I think the most improved was Sean.
Yeah.
Out of those three, I think the biggest was Derek. And out of those three, the most complete was Kamal. Yeah. So I think you could have really tossed it either way. Now, and listen, I'm cool with them. We're friends. Like I texted him when I found that he got engaged and bought his chick a car. Derek's a good kid.
Yeah.
And I said it. I called, and anybody that knows me knows. I hate when I talk about bodybuilding and I talk about people that I know, because some people can take grave offense to when you talk about them. But they got to understand that when you're talking about bodybuilding, like I cut everybody's fucking heads off, right? Meaning, like I don't talk about them as who they are to me as a friend, who they are as a person, who like their personality, their morals. I talk strictly physique, and some people take offense to it, and some people are, level-headed and they can take constructive criticism. I can take constructive criticism. I know my back's not wide. I know my arms aren't that big. I know I need to be thicker up top. I know my flaws, and people can pick them out all day, and I'll agree. Derek, last year after the Olympia, I picked up the phone and I called him and I said, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, what? I go, I don't know what. I go, you look awesome 3 weeks out. I go, and you look like, and I said, I think you look complete shit on stage. He looked small. I'm talking about 2018.
Right.
He looked skinny. He looked drawn out. He did not look full. He was not popping. He was watery. And I kind of told him, I'm like, dude, I don't know what you do. I don't know what your protocols are, but I do know what I see. And I see you training. And anybody that's watching this, pro or not pro, at 25 years old, you have no business doing this slow, controlled, scientific approach to all. At that fucking age, you go into the gym, you use your compound fucking movements, you do some, flies if you're doing this is not brain surgery. The problem is that technology gets a hold of bodybuilding or working out, and everybody wants to take this scientific approach. And I'm probably offending some people who take the scientific approach, but they can say that they're right, and I'm going to say that my approach is fucking better. You know, maybe I'm wrong. That maybe years from now they're gonna say Guy Cisternino was an asshole. He trained like a fucking moron. That's why he's banged up. He should have, done it. But until that happens, I'm gonna say that hard work, heavyweight, pyramid sets, time under tension, just normal, everyday, typical bodybuilding shit works.
Yeah.
And Derek looked fucking phenomenal. 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, and he walked out on stage and he was big, but he was full. He probably looked like he had 10 pounds of water on him. He was not, but which was weird, he wasn't full, he wasn't popping, he was watery. He looked like he actually lost muscle. And then somebody said, "What do you think happened?" And I said, "I think he tried to pull too much water, flattened out, tried to fill up with shit food, and then went complete fucking snowball effect and just went downhill." Now, when I said that on a live feed, because after the Olympia, I did a live feed and everybody and their mother was on. And apparently, Derek, the day before the Olympia, was posting eating at McDonald's. And he was eating like apple pies. And I go, then if what I didn't know that when I made that comment, I go, now that I know that, I'm prone to say that I'm right. Yeah. So he's doing, and he does train. At least this year, he looked like he was training heavier. But he's still doing that slow fucking take 3 minutes to do one rep shit. But they were paving the way for Mr. Olympia. I mean, they couldn't have dangled that carrot any closer to his fucking face.
Yeah.
Do I think he's gonna be Mr. Olympia? Yeah. And people will watch this and say that I'm bashing. I'm not bashing Derek. I think Derek's probably one of the most gifted guys on bodybuilding stage.
You just said you think he's going to be Mr. Olympia, so you're not bashing him.
No, I'm not bashing him, but I am bashing the fact that 20-year-old, anybody in their fucking 20s should not be training like that. Like the only way you get that hard, gnarly, grainy muscle is training the way Branch trains, Ronnie trains, I train, Dorian trains, Flex trains, short. Like that's just, look at those guys. Like everybody that has trained heavy and hard. Now, listen, can there's some guys get away with training lighter and doing more machines? Yes, anomalies. There's some guys that last forever in the sport with not a lot of injuries. But for the people that aren't genetically gifted, that have to work hard, it's about the compound movements, and it's simple, but everybody overcomplicates it. And I think Derek's going to learn a lesson now after the second fucking time of looking exactly the same. I think he's going to learn what he fucking did, because I think he did the exact same thing 2 years in a row. And I think you're going to see a more improved Derek next year. And whether he makes some changes with his coaching or his protocols, I don't think what happened in 18 and 19 is going to happen in 2020, which is going to suck because I'm probably going to be there and I'm hopefully going to be battling with him for 1 and 2. But I hope he pulls it together, man. He's got a bright future.
Now, Kamal, is Kamal going to continue to compete? Have you heard anything?
I heard he wasn't, and he was going to retire. And then I called Aceto on that, and Aceto was like, "That's bullshit. Who the fuck said that?" And David Henry actually told me that. So I was like, I don't know.
I got in trouble with Dave Henry for me falsely saying he was retired. So, David, you gotta watch who you say he's retired, dude. He's not retired. He's doing the Legion Sports Fest in a few weeks.
Kamal?
No, Dave Henry.
Yeah. We were gonna battle out there until I've been prepping since like fucking Nam, man. I've been prepping since
Did you say Nam?
Yeah. Did you ever see Superbad?
Yeah. Chicago was July.
I've been dieting since the first Monday. I started dieting the Monday I got back from the Yona Classic.
Wow. So that was like probably like March 10th or so, something like that. 11th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. And I've been dieting straight, and I've done those 2 shows, and I don't want to say I bombed those shows, but back 2 years ago, before I had my shoulder surgeries, Chris would always pull my salt, and I had no issues. And this time he pulled my salt both times, and obviously Chicago, I got really sick. We did Chicago, and that was just from, there was nothing anybody could do. I was fucking throwing up on Wednesday.
Oh God.
What
was that from?
I threw my back out, put my if you knew my life, Ron. So since March, my dog's had 4 knee surgeries, costing me $13,000.
You love that dog.
My dogs are my life. I don't have kids.
Yeah.
My dogs are my kids.
That's man, that's going the distance. Go ahead.
She blew out her right knee, and then the day she got cleared from the doctor, she blew out her left knee, and then she got to get surgery on the left knee, and then her right knee, the original one that she blew out, her started having a subluxing patella, so her kneecap was popping out. So they did another surgery to anchor her kneecap in place, and then there was an infection, and the anchors didn't hold, and her kneecap was so loose. I had to cut her back open, go in. They had to break her leg, realign it, drill the knee in, anchor everything back, and then they called me, told me that when they were in there and they saw the infection, it came back as MRSA, which is a new form of MRSA.
Oh
So
my
now she's got
God.
fucking two. It's been a fucking nightmare.
MRSA.
So, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So
Jesus.
that was going on. So just nonstop shit, and then I've been dieting for so long, and I was like, I told Chris I was going to do the Legion, and I was like, you know what? I was like, Romania's before it. I was like, what's the worst that can happen? You know, it's a longer flight, but I do well flying. I don't
I
know.
was gonna say 1 week you're going to Romania a week after you could have been in Long Beach the week after that.
Well, I'm going to go to Romania in hopes. Obviously, like every competitor does at every show that I win.
Yeah.
And I don't have to do Long Beach. If I don't win Romania, then I'm going to have to go to Cali. If I go to Cali and I don't win Cali, then I'm going to have to go to Niagara Falls. And if I don't win Niagara Falls, then guess what? I got to do something before the Olympia next year to try to qualify. You know, it sucks to be dieting this long, but it doesn't bother me because I'm used to it. I can diet all year round. It doesn't really faze me. The thing that I fall into is that I don't get a chance to have a full off season. Like the guys that took top 5 at the Olympia, they get off the rest of the year to make improvements, rest their body, recover injuries. I haven't had a fucking chance to do that.
Man,
you know, so I'm
we'll talk injury. You got an injury list. We could have made a whole show just about your injuries, but
not in the gym though, Ron.
Not in the gym. Oh
No.
God. All right. So before we get to that, I want to brush people up on your history because not everyone here is going to be familiar with it. So correct me if I make any inaccurate statements. So you were inspired by your dad, who was Guy Cisternino Sr.
My pops, yeah.
You were a kid. So he was a football player all the way through college, boxer. You began playing football very young yourself.
3rd grade.
Dad bought you a weight set in 7th grade, and it was basically you got into all this just to get bigger and stronger for football, right?
That was the only reason.
Okay.
Yep.
And it must have worked. You played college ball. You were a running back at Western Connecticut State.
I got recruited for running back, and then they moved me to cornerback my 2nd year. But yeah.
What? Because Jose played college ball. Was he a running back?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I figure that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. First show in 2003 in West Virginia.
Yeah.
You won your class and lost the overall to Fred Biggie Smalls.
Yes, I did.
Wow. What got you into competing? How did you how did you go from being a football player and weight training for that to becoming a bodybuilder?
So my dad always worked out. So as the end of high school approached, I started getting into, honestly, MD. I don't know if you remember, right as I was in college. So this was right, but I started getting into bodybuilding magazines in high school, but right around, I would say sometime in college, maybe sophomore year, I graduated in 2000. So early 2000s was when the form got big. Because I was training, there was a powerhouse gym in Brewster, New York, that I trained at with PJ Braun every day. And then there was a gym in Yorktown, New York, that used to be owned by Greg Valentino. That was the one that Greg owned, that I used to train out of. But Greg didn't own that when I trained there. I trained there after all that arrest shit happened years later. But so I trained at those 2 gyms, and the online form starting. And I don't know if you remember the guy. You're probably gonna laugh when I say his name. It's funny that I actually remember it. You remember a guy by the name of Tony Munchinsky?
Yeah, is he a photographer?
Yes, and he filmed me for MD, and he did a series called Amazing Amateurs.
Oh wow!
When I was an amateur, and that was in 2007, and he put me on MD. And that year, I ended up winning a lot of local shows in Metropolitans and all that. And then when in college, it was hard my passion was bodybuilding, but my love was for football because I played it from 3rd grade. So it was like I went to class all day, and then I went to football practice, and then I was the only one. Anybody that I played college ball with will attest to this. I went from the field to the locker room, ate a Myoplex bar or a Mesotech bar or one of those fucking bars.
Yep.
Remember the Detour, any protein bar.
Detour bars were delicious. Yes.
I kept those in my locker. I ate one of those. I went up to the gym and I did a bodybuilding workout, and I did it every fucking day, every day. And then after I did that, I went back to my dorm room. I showered, I got dressed, and I went to work. And I worked until 10, 11 o'clock at night. I worked at GNC in the mall, and then I came back home and I did it all again.
Wow.
And so that's the bodybuilding maggot. My dad looking the way he did, being a jacked father, and then me getting into working out for football, and then how I got into actual bodybuilding. I was following the sport for so long, but back when I was growing up, there was no internet really. Internet just started coming out. Like AOL Instant Messenger just got big.
Right.
Like I had a flip fucking phone. I sound like my dad. Jesus Christ, like a rotary phone. So we didn't have all this technology. So I didn't know how to get an NPC card, compete at an NPC show, what IFBB meant. Like I didn't know anything. So I was working at GNC, and the manager, who was a woman, her boyfriend was a bodybuilder. He was older. I was in my 20, maybe 21.
Yeah.
And he came at the store. He was probably in his 30s. And he was like, he was jacked. So to me, back then, I was in my 20s. I was like, oh, this guy's like Mr. Olympia. He's huge.
Right.
And he was like, he walked in the store one day. He goes, yo, what do you do? And I was like, I just go to college, man, and play ball. He's like, you play ball? I said, yeah, I play football. He's like, why? I go, fucking, I don't know, man. I've been playing since I was third grade. What do you mean, why? He was like, why don't you compete? And I was like, I've always wanted to. I said, I don't know a fucking thing about compete. I said, I don't know. Like, I can try to diet, but I don't know how to do like what those guys do and get to where they look. And he was like, well, if I write you a diet, would you follow it and do a show? I was like, yeah. So I did a fucking, he helped me up until a point. And then a guy by the name, I started dieting right before college ended that semester. I came home that summer. And I got help by another local guy. His name was Steve Pappas. And that was in 2003.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready for that show. I was actually getting ready for a show in South Jersey. It was August 9th and 10th. And the reason why I remember that was because that was a week before I had to go back for college football camp. And I wanted to make sure that I was able to compete in a show and not interfere with football. And for 9 days before, this will never, ever fade from my memory. Even if I get Alzheimer's, I'll never forget this. I was sitting in front of my computer 9 days out from the show, and I get an email from the promoter that the show was canceled due to lack of competitors.
Oof.
And I remember sitting at my computer downstairs. I was like, at this point, like 165 pounds. And I looked at my fucking screen, and I was like, what do I out loud, I was like, I guess I could just go to McDonald's. That's literally what I said.
Huh.
I was like, I guess I could go to McDonald's. There's nothing else to do. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go pick out. So I don't know if it was Google back then, but we had some search engine, Internet Explorer or whatever. And I typed in bodybuilding shows August 9th and 10th, 2003.
Yeah.
And the only thing that came up was NABA. It was a NABA show in West Virginia. I took my truck to the mechanic. I had a Bronco 2. And I go, I don't care what you got to do. This thing's got to get me to fucking West Milford, to West Virginia, and back. I said, I don't care what it costs. Chuck's got to make it to West Virginia and back. So $1,300, get a bunch of shit to it, picked up my cousin 3 days out, and drove to West Virginia.
Wow. Should have just rented a car, man. But
I think back then you had to be 20. I think I was.
Yeah, I think you have to be 20. 25. You still have to be like 25. Yeah, I think it still is.
Like 20 or 21.
Because that's like the last birthday that you're eligible for anything is 25. You can rent a car.
Yep.
So you turned pro in 2008. You won the middleweights at the Nationals. So 2011 was your first win. You won the Europa show. You did the Olympia for the first time. And you also had a horrific car accident that you almost died in that year.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory, man. I vaguely remember this happening to you. Vaguely.
People don't realize when I say like I'm a man like of my words, meaning like when I say what I say and I talk about hard work and dedication, like if people only knew 10% of what I've gone through.
Hmm.
So 2011, I had just won my first show. Um, this happened in November, so this happened right after the Olympia.
Yeah.
I was sponsored then by BSN,
Yeah.
and I was going into Long Island, and I was on Route 80. And I don't know, you're in New York still?
No, I'm in Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're in there. You're close, Jose.
Yeah.
So I don't know the roads, but like on highways, if you're going like north and south or east and west or whatever, in the middle of the highway, sometimes where there's grass, there's like big cutouts where the cops sit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and everybody with a fucking brain cell knows that you're not allowed. It's illegal to turn around in there.
Correct.
Whether you do it or not or get caught, it's illegal.
Right. Right. Right.
So I don't know if you remember that snowstorm we got in October of 2011 that like brought down telephone poles and trees, and it was mayhem. I don't. So they called in a bunch of contractors from like a lot of those companies, like electrical companies, to help fix the power lines.
Yeah.
Well, there was a bucket truck. Those are the trucks that have the big buckets on the end that lift the guys up into the power lines.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was driving in the middle lane, and I was in the fast lane, and he was on his cell phone. He was lost, wasn't paying attention, and I was doing like 65, 70. It was a 65-mile-an-hour zone, so I got somewhat of a heavy foot. So I was in the fast lane driving, however fast I was driving, and I looked down at my GPS for a fucking split second to see what time I was going to get to Long Island.
Yeah.
And I literally was driving, and I looked down and looked up, and I looked up, and without even taking a fucking blink, his back seat was his back seat of his truck was literally in my front seat.
Wow.
Like his bucket came through and actually hit my passenger seat. Where if somebody was in there, they probably would have got their head cut off.
Oh my God.
So
what happened to you?
So I got dragged about 50 feet in the car.
Jeez.
And then I broke my thumb, bunch of ribs, partial tear in my meniscus, 2 herniations in my back, 2 bulges, whole fucking mess of shit.
Wow.
And I remember it was weird because when people ask me about it, I go, it's the weirdest feeling because it's the fastest thing that's ever happened to me in a split second. But it happened so fast, but in slow motion, that I remember the shards of glass. Wow. I could see the shards of glass coming at my face. Like it's the most crazy, unrealistic thing you could ever think of. And I remember like the guy that I had a witness, thank God. And he said that I was knocked out. I don't remember being knocked out, but that could be because I was knocked out.
Right.
But I remember hitting the car, and I remember just like not knowing what the fuck was going on. And I knew like I was in an accident. And I remember like I was in my seat, and I just remember like turning my head and looking out my window like this. And I just remember I remember 2 people just running across the fucking highway. And I was like, and I just remember, and then they came over and they looked in the window, and I heard them say, "Don't move." And as soon as they said, "Don't move," I remember I moved my fingers and I moved my feet, and I'm like, all right, I'm not paralyzed. I'm getting the fuck out of this car. Like as soon as they told me not to move, I panicked. I like went into complete panic mode. And they said like, "Don't move." And I was like, something's not right. So I got to get the fuck out of this car. So I got my seatbelt out, and I was able to, the door was jammed, but I was able to get my way out. And I just opened the door, and I literally rolled out of the car and just laid on the ground and just like tried to like take in what happened. And then when I walked around to the front of my car, I broke down because I saw my car, and I was like, how the fuck am I alive? I was like, I should be. And the cops came, and the first thing they asked me, they were like, how many times did your car roll? I go, my car didn't roll, bro. And they're like, are you sure you weren't knocked out? I go, I'm not sure that I wasn't knocked out, but what I can be sure of is that if my fucking car was doing this, I might remember it. You know?
Well, not if you're unconscious, but yeah.
Yeah, but
certainly.
I hit and got dragged. Like I didn't hit and flip. Like I remember, like my car didn't do. Like I remember all that stuff. So my car went upside down, and I would have remembered that.
Sure. Yeah, I would think so.
At least something of it. You know.
So that was end of 2011. You must have somehow bounced back miraculously fast, because by 2012 Olympia, you were in the top 7.
Yeah.
Did you compete earlier to qualify for that show in the year?
No, actually, that was one of the first years I didn't win a pro show to qualify. I went on points.
Okay. But how long were you out of action from that accident?
Honestly, my thumb, it was kind of funny. I was in the ambulance and I had to sign a waiver because they wanted to strap me down with that fucking thing and like on my neck. And I was like, nah. I was like, you can take me in the ambulance. You ain't strap me to shit. They're like, well, you got to sign a waiver. I said, fine. I was like, I said, I'll lay down or sit, but you strap me and it's not going to be good.
Wow.
So I signed a waiver and I'll never forget being in the ambulance. And they're like, does anything hurt more than like anything else? And I go, this is going to sound really gay. I go, but my right thumb is fucking killing me.
Wow.
Because remember back then the iPhone had the button.
Yes.
And my thumb was, I split my thumb in half, like right down the middle.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even press that button.
Oof.
Because as soon as the accident happened, I wanted to take pictures as like proof that, and I couldn't even click the button on my phone.
Yeah.
The
new ones don't have that. So you would have been okay with the iPhone 10 or 11.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. So, okay. Yeah. You must have bounced back and miraculously fast because, like I said, you were in the Olympia again.
Yeah.
You won some more shows. You won the Europa Dallas in 2014. You won Toronto Pro that year. You won the New York Pro 2 years in a row, 2015 and 2016. Also won Miami Pro in 2016. Total of 6 pro wins, ain't counting so far. Sorry. So the next thing that I recall happening to you before the shoulder stuff, you were at New York Pro.
You got a fucking man. Thanks for bringing up even more bad memories.
No, I mean that seemed like it was you. Well, the car accident certainly wasn't your fault, and this was something completely out of your control too.
Yeah.
So 2017 New York Pro, I'm watching everyone come out for the 212 judging, and your skin looked like, I don't know, it was like coming off you or something. You were all blotchy and, nobody knew, and everyone's like speculating and everyone's starting a million rumors. What's happened to Guy Cisternino?
Dude, I saw some of the fucking dumbest shit I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Top 3 dumbest speculations. Or give me one.
DMP. I was like, what?
Yeah.
DMP, and then this guy had another guy from another gym explain, and I was like, okay, I don't take rat poison.
Yeah.
Number 1. Number 2, I'm sure there's a ton of other guys that do.
Yeah.
Number 3, I went to a fucking doctor. I was in a hospital. I have hospital reports. They know everything I was taking, I was on, and it had nothing to do with anything. I have the fucking, it was called a fixed drug eruption mixed with a phototoxic reaction. The reason was because I was sick. I think I was on either Z-Pack or something, because I'm allergic to amoxicillin, penicillin, Keflex, and codeine. I'm allergic to everything.
Okay.
So when I get sick, or usually around when the season changed, I get a lot of sinus infections. So I was probably taking Cipro or something, and I went tanning before the show, because during the shows, I usually always get sick at right before or like during or right after, all the time. And I've been on medication during prep so many times because my immune system goes to shit.
Right.
And I didn't think anything of it. And I was on medication, and I went tanning on Tuesday. And then Tuesday, I go tanning at night. We train back on Wednesday. I get home, and I'm like, man, something's not right. And then I was like, whatever. Thursday morning, I wake up to go drive to Westchester, and my buddy Rich at the time, training partner, comes over, takes pictures, and I'm red, like somebody smacked me all over my my body. I was bright red, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck. So I started popping Benadryl. I'm like, I'm allergic to something. Something ain't right.
Yeah.
I popped some Benadryl. It kind of subsided a little bit, and I was like, all right, whatever, no big deal. Drove to Westchester. Chris looked at me. You're good. And then that night, I woke up at like 2 a.m, dude, and I was in like, when do you ever have like a scar or a cut and it starts to heal and it itches?
Yes.
I had that plus an absolute insane burning sensation, like somebody had a hot iron on me mixed with that itchy like it was.
God.
I wanted to rip my fucking, and I was like, I literally was like, I was like, I gotta go to and I looked at my skin. I'm like, something's eating me from the inside out. Like that's. Yeah. I was like, I got a skin disease of something. Right. So I drove to fucking the ER myself. Get to the ER. They're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Look at my skin. And so they gave me a shot of Medrol, which is prednisone, like liquid prednisone.
Yeah.
They gave me an allergy med. They put oxygen on me just in case I didn't go to anaphylactic shock.
Hmm.
And they gave me something else. And I dozed off a little bit, woke up around 6 a.m. They said, all right, we don't know what it is, but it obviously calmed down, so we're going to send you home. And I'm like, this is great. So I went back to the hotel, and I didn't text. I think I texted Chris when I was at the ER.
Yeah.
And when I got back to my room, I texted him I was back in my room. But because the drug, I don't know if they gave me something. I don't remember what they gave me, but it knocked me out. Chris knocked on my door, called my cell phone, called my room. I didn't pick up. And then like 2 hours later, came back down, knocked on my door again, and I didn't answer. And he went to the front desk and he goes, you got to let me in this room. And they were like, it's not your room. And he goes, my competitor's in there. And if he's dead, it's going to be on you guys if you don't open this fucking door. So they opened the door, and I didn't wake up. Chris left me a note. I had the picture. He took all my cans of chew and my keys and made this like little pyramid and wrote, I was here. I'm in room 614, circled it, left it on the other bed, walked out. 2 hours later, came back, knocked. I woke up this time, came to the door. He's at the door with a lady, and I opened the door. Fucking, I don't take drugs. I don't fucking do recreational shit. I don't know what it's like to be on any kind of those fucking drugs.
Yeah.
But that moment, I was so fucked up. I opened the door and I looked at her, and she goes, I'm looking at this lady and Chris, and I'm like, and the lady goes, you know him? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, all right. And she walks away, and Chris walks in, and Chris is like, dude, you're right. And I'm like, I don't know. And then Chris is like, let's see what you look like. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, Chris like, you look good. Eat that. And I'm like, what? So then we drove to Bev's. Steve looked at me. He was like, you're peeled. He's like, you got those. He goes, hopefully the tan will cover it up. He's like, you look great. And I'm like, you think I still do the show? He's like, yeah. So I fought through that, went to the show, got backstage. Dude, as soon as they started putting the oil on me before I went on stage. Once they started doing this, my everything just fucking intensified times like 1,000. And I remember going out there with prejudge, and I could barely even put my hands on my hips. And I was like, they did call outs. Now, people can say I lost or whatever, but I did that show 2 years in a row and smoked every motherfucker in that show.
Yeah.
As soon as I got backstage, I was like, I shouldn't be here. And as soon as they did call outs, I don't even remember what call out I was in. I was like, I walked off stage, I walked off, and I walked right around, and I grabbed my shit, and I went right back to my hotel, and I went right to the fucking emergency room. And I went to Morristown Memorial, and then they told me to go to Robert Wood Johnson because they had specialists there. I was in the ER for 5 fucking days, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shit. Did it take them that long to figure out what was wrong?
They told me they thought I pulled one of the doctors and I go, Doc, you guys have been waking me up every hour for 3 days taking blood. I go, they took 3 biopsies from me. I got fucking huge scars on my upper hip, on the top of my ass crack, and my leg from them taking biopsies from the skin. They came in one time. My parents were there. They had a fucking rod. The rod had to be this long. And they go, can you turn on your side? I go, what the fuck are you going to do with that? Like, we need another biopsy. I go, where's that going? And they went right in the top of outside of my IT band.
Wow. Oh,
and,
no.
They thought I had something called Sweets syndrome, which is a rare skin cancer. Because I pulled the doctor and I'm like, Doc, you got to fuck. I go, I know you guys aren't allowed to tell me what you think or what it might be. I go, I've been here for 3 days and I don't have a single fucking answer. Besides, I don't know. I said, you got to help me out. I go, tell me anything. Tell me I'm done. Tell me I have cancer. Tell me I have a disease. So at least I'm like, okay, I can say, okay, if I have skin cancer, this is the next protocol. If I have a skin disease, this is the next protocol. If I'm dying, then this is the next. Like, I want to know what's next.
Right.
And not knowing is the worst feeling in the world.
Mm.
And then finally, I actually got released with still not knowing. They didn't find out what I actually had until the following March.
Wow.
Yeah.
It took them that, and that was based on all the samples that they took in those 5 days. It took them another month Wow. So I assume it got treated and everything got resolved, right? Somehow.
Everything got resolved, but I do still have. You guys don't see him on stage, but I'm still. If I like took my shirt off right now with no tan,
Yeah.
and showed you like the backs of my legs and like my lower back, I look like I still have black and blues all over me.
Wow.
Because it was, I ingested a chemical, which was the antibiotic, and then I went tanning, and the UV light and the chemical have a reaction, which is called a phototoxic reaction,
right.
which is where that chemical starts to cook. Well, that chemical is in my blood, so
Wow.
it cooks in my bloodstream, and then actually, you get burned from the inside out.
Jesus.
That's what happened.
Damn, dude. Okay. Well, if that wasn't enough, then your shoulders, that should have been enough, but it wasn't.
No.
So your shoulders, like a lot of, you're not even that old, man. I always thought you were older just because you've been around so long. You're 37.
37.
37. Yeah. You're actually younger than most of the contemporaries that you were competing with.
Yeah.
But, so how, when did your shoulders start giving you trouble, and when did it get to the point where you needed them operated on?
So playing football for 15 years and being a running back and a middle linebacker, you get hit. Anybody that knows football, your first two steps in those positions are to the line of scrimmage. So you're getting hit every play.
Right.
If you're a linebacker, your first two steps are forward. If you're a running back, your first steps are towards the line of scrimmage, unless it's a pass and you're still going forward to meet a blocker. So you're getting hit every play. So just from constantly hitting, my shoulders were always banged up. And then anybody that watches how I train can probably say the same thing I just said about Derek and say, well, if you want Derek to train that way, why don't you train the way Derek trains since you're older? Which I actually started training smarter than I have in the past, only because like to flat bench, I can't touch my chest anymore with a bar. Because what they did was it was a shoulder surgery, but it was actually a bicep tendon procedure because your bicep tendon runs all the way up and attaches to your labrum, which is attached to your shoulder. So what they actually ended up doing was called a tenodesis procedure, which is when they go in and they actually cut your bicep tendon off your labrum and they drill a hole in your humerus and they reattach the bicep tendon. Because when I went in, which I thought I had shoulder issues, AC joints or whatever,
Yeah.
the doctor goes, actually, your AC joints are really good. And your overall shoulder. There you go. But your bicep tendon is absolutely fucking mess. They go on both. The doctor goes, I don't know how your bicep tendons haven't ripped. He goes, they are so fucking frayed and so swollen and just, he goes, you got pieces full. He goes, that's your problem. So I'm like, great. Because I was having trouble sleeping because I was sleeping with two pillows on the ground,
Right.
And I wasn't training how I should and handling weight that I normally handle. I'm like, I got to get this taken care of. So I was like, well, can you do both at the same time? And his answer goes, unless you got a real loyal girlfriend that's going to wipe your ass for about 2 weeks. He goes, I recommend doing one and then 5 weeks later doing the other one. Yeah. So we did the right one June 26th, and then we did the left one July 31st.
Wow. So what was the recovery like from that?
17 weeks. I went from 238 pounds to 193.
Wow. Still bigger than your average bear, but
that dude, I looked like it was crazy. I looked like I was dying. And that was just two stupid things I did. One, I didn't eat. I ate twice a day, maybe sometimes three, because I wasn't training and I didn't want to get fat and eat all these calories that my body wasn't. I wanted to give my kidneys a break, my liver a break. So I wasn't eating a lot. Right. And then being so goddamn high strung and go, and now you take the gym away from me. I was doing cardio twice a day just to do something.
Yeah.
And I just lost so much goddamn weight. And then, but as soon as I started training again, the first week I went back to the gym, I think I gained 12 pounds.
Wow.
Just because I went from 2 meals a day to 6, that was it.
Yeah. Wow.
Like 2-3 meals a day to 6 meals a day plus training. My body, 12 pounds. I was over 200 pounds in a week.
Yeah. I think you did that the right way, exactly the right way by, your body had no need for all the extra protein and all that stuff. So cutting back all the food and doing extra cardio was probably the smartest thing you could have possibly done in that situation.
Everybody was like, "Oh, aren't you like scared that like you're gonna?" I was like, one thing I wasn't scared about was mentally, was I gonna be able to get back to where I was? Because I knew I don't care how I look. That's why I didn't go to the Olympia last year. I was like, I know I'm gonna get shit for how I look, but I don't care. But I don't need to hear it because I know mentally what I'm capable of. Now, physically, I didn't know what my shoulders were going to be capable of. So once the doctor cleared me, I'm actually going to him tomorrow because after the surgery, he was like, listen, your AC joints might start aggravating you now since we did a procedure and we cut the bicep tendon away. Your AC joints might start. So my AC joints started aggravating me bad 3 weeks ago. So he's going to go inject my AC joints tomorrow with a little bit of cortisone just to calm them down. And he said that should be all it takes. Yeah. But yesterday I was under anesthesia. I had a back procedure done because from that car accident, I have 2 herniations, L4, L5, L5S1, 2 bulges, and these things called fissures, which are stress cracks in your discs.
Yeah.
And I've been dealing with that since 2011. And finally, I'm like, fuck, I got to go to Romania. I got to go to Columbus this weekend for an event for Bullfrog Nutrition. Then I'm home for a couple days. Then I go to Romania. Then I'm home. Then I got another event. Then I got to go to Dubai in December, probably to Australia in December. And I'm like, I can't be doing all this with my back like this. So they did. It's called it's like a nerve block shot. But yeah. It's like he did my all, like pretty much all my lower facet joint and up to like my lower lumbars and stuff. But he did a total of 8. I didn't realize. I thought he was gonna like 1 injection and 1. I never had it done.
Yeah.
But I got 8 injections in my back.
Is that all in the spine?
All like low, like it, right along your like the top of my ass.
Okay.
Like right where you're like L4, L5,
right.
Like all those discs are. So
yeah.
he actually injected 1 in my hips. I was in the gym tonight training chest. I was supposed to do legs, but I was like, I better.
Probably not a good idea.
No, well, they said I could resume normal activity today. And I was like, I'm going to train legs Friday, not Thursday. I'll train chest today. But I'm just sore. But the pain that I normally feel, which is all this tightness on my right side, like from the herniations, I don't have. The only thing I have is soreness from the injection, which, knock on wood, within a day or 2 it'll be gone.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I called you in the title for this interview. I called you Mr. Unstoppable because, any one of these things that we just talked about might have been it for somebody else. They might have said, you know what, screw this. I'm not going to put myself through this anymore and try to compete and try to be at this high level when all these things keep happening to me. But what keeps you going all the time, Guy? What drives you every day?
I'm alive, man. I lost another buddy this past week that I played college football with, Ben March, 38 years old, worked his whole life on a farm, had a kid, married, freak accident, tractor rolled on him, killed him.
Oh my God. Wow.
You don't, like I tell everybody, man, they're like, why do you go so hard? Why do you train like this? Why do you go? Why don't you get a lot of, why do you travel so much? Why don't you stay home during prep? Because I'm going to look back in 10 years and not be bodybuilding and go, man, I should have went to that show. Man, I should have went to that event. Man, I should have lifted that weight. Man, I should have did that cardio. Man, I should have spent more time with that fan. Man, I should have spoke my mind. Man, I should have did that fucking interview. Like, when you're in a position that I'm blessed to be in, which is in a professional athlete and a bodybuilder, and people can say that professional bodybuilding is not being an athlete, but I can tell you this. I played football for 15 fucking years. Bodybuilding is 20 fucking times harder than playing football. Wow. I don't give a fuck who you are. And it's for 2 reasons. A, any individualized sport is harder. And B, this is probably the only sport where you have to do it without somebody breathing down your fucking. I don't have a coach at the gym telling me to fucking hurry up or push harder, or I don't have a CETO with cameras in my house. Fucking, he might actually like creeping in on me, seeing if I'm like eating my meals or not cheating, or like, you don't have that. It's all, and a lot of people need to be held accountable. But one thing I never had to do was be held accountable for anything that I did. I'm the type of person where, I'm a God-fearing person, and, I know there's a start and there's an end, and nobody knows when that end is going to be. But until that end time comes, every single day that I wake up, I'm like, today's another fucking day. And I don't have good luck. You can ask girlfriends, you can ask family, you can ask friends, best friends, cousins, they would be like, Guy has the worst fucking luck of anybody I've ever met, because it's just nothing. But they say that God gives his toughest task to his toughest soldiers. So I try to believe that all this stuff I'm going through is not for no reason, that it's for a reason. And, listen, there's a lot of people out there that don't like who I am, maybe because it's how I talk, my beliefs, how I train, how I look. But at the end of the day, I mean, if you ask anybody that knows me, I'll give you the shirt off my back in a second. I've done more than give my shirt off my back for people I don't even know.
Yeah.
And I honestly, my passion really isn't bodybuilding. My passion, number one, I told everybody when they say what makes you, like you said, unstoppable, because I think there's a big difference in working out because you love bodybuilding or you bodybuild because you love to work out. And I think a lot of guys nowadays with social media and computers and all this fucking Insta fame shit, I think that there's a lot of integrity lost in what we as bodybuilders do because a lot of bodybuilding, I think now, a lot of these Insta famous people, and there's not like think about another. Is there an Insta famous NFL player? No.
No.
Is there
No.
like if you're an NFL player, you're an NFL player. But
Right.
bodybuilding is the only fucking sport that you could be a professional athlete.
Yep.
But somebody cannot be a professional athlete, but still be Insta famous because he's in the bodybuilding world. Like I can't be Insta famous in the football world. I'm not. So like think about that for a second. You can be Insta famous in the fitness industry and not be an athlete.
Right.
So what happens is you take hard work and dedication and drive and integrity out of the sport. And I tell people, just because you trained heavy during one film set, where's the other three?
Yeah.
Like you have to enjoy going to the gym and training to be a good bodybuilder. And I truly believe that Dave has said it, Palumbo. I don't know if you've ever said it. I know Chris Aceto has said it. I have some of the worst genetics in the 212, and I am okay with that. The reason why I'm okay with that is because I'm not genetically gifted. People be like, "Oh, shut the fuck up." No, I'm not. I competed my first show at 21 years old. I was 162 pounds at 21. I wasn't Jose competing in my teens at 160. I was 21 competing at 162 pounds at my first bodybuilding show. Okay.
Yeah.
If I didn't train, people go, "Why do you still train the way you do?" Because like after injury, I'm like, because what got me to before my shoulder surgery was doing what I've always done. So how am I going to get back there? Doing what I've always done. Now, once I got back to where I am, now I can not reinvent the wheel, but I can switch things around and play with different exercises and not do certain things and kill my joint and kind of maintain my place in the IFBB for another couple of years because I don't want to be competing when I'm 45. Once I'm in my 40s, maybe 41, I'm done. So for me, my window of opportunity to do the things that I love to do, which is teach people, which is why I do a lot of motivational speaking, not just what everybody sees on Instagram and social media, but I speak at schools. I've been to the University of Michigan last year. They're flying me back there at the end of November to speak again. This is a University of Michigan, top 10 school in the world, like huge, like top 10 football college. They're flying me out there to speak to the school again for the second year. I have a history degree. My passion is teaching and talking to kids. And, it's funny because I see all these people that like will make stupid fucking comments to me. And I'm like, it's funny because those same assholes that make comments to me, if they actually ask for advice or reach out to me, I would respond. Because I always respond to everybody. And I want to, my Instagram isn't to show off. My Instagram isn't to go, look at me. My Instagram isn't to go, look how much I can work with. My Instagram goes, this is me. This is who I am. You can like it. You can not like it. At the end of the day, you can go, I didn't like him, but at least he was an honest person. And if you can take something positive from my life, my hardships, my struggles, and put it into your life to use it as a positive influence, then I did my job.
You must have a tremendous self-belief because not a lot of people have believed in you over the years. I mean, myself included. I don't think I ever had you in a lot of my previews as someone who was going to win this show or that show. But you know what? You were probably, I think it's like Branch said, Branch, it's kind of a similar path. Branch, people told him when he said he was going to compete, they said, you'll never win a show. Then they said, well, you'll never win the stage show. Well, you'll never turn pro. Well, okay, you're a pro. You'll never win a pro show. And then it was, you'll never win a good pro show like the Arnold. And, sure enough, he won 2 of those. So how were you able to keep your self-belief and know that you were going to succeed when nobody except maybe a close inner circle around you believed in you.
Because the one thing that I've been told my whole life is I've always had heart, which I don't even think you even hear anymore. I don't even think I'm me saying that. I'm trying to think the last time I heard. I'm probably gonna do a rant about that tomorrow now.
Please do.
My father used to say the reason why you're good at what you do is because you put your heart into it. And I remember being in college. They moved me to cornerback, and I sucked at cornerback. I'll be the first guy to say I was the worst cornerback in NCAA football history. I sucked. I was a 5'5.5" cornerback running a 4.5 40 with a 33-inch vertical, and I was going against guys that were 6'5" and didn't even need to jump to catch the ball over me. I sucked. But I remember one of my buddies. There was a game, and after the game, I think I had to go. I think the game was on a Sunday, and I think I had something on Monday, whether it was something I couldn't attend whatever we had the following day for football. Yeah. I had to get out of it. And one of the guys, my buddy Cecil Snowden, he was a running back for WestCon. He goes, "You should have been in that meeting." And I was like, "Why?" I go, they don't give a fuck about me in the meeting. You know, I barely fucking play at this point. Yeah. And he goes, "It was one of the games we were playing." And it's funny because it's so funny the impact you don't know you have on people, especially people that watch you every day. Because I always thought my coaches fucking just didn't like me. Right. Because I didn't play as much as I thought I should have. And I don't think I should have been at the position that I was at. So I always was like, my coaches fucking hated me. And everybody's like, "Well, why don't you talk to your coach?" I was like, because if I was good enough to be at a position, they would move me there. They want to win. Like, I'm not going to tell a coach what I think he should put me. He's the coach for a reason. Right. But apparently in that meeting, he said we were losing, and it's funny, he made the comment when I'm not there, because he never made that comment around me. But he said if anybody in this room had half the heart that Cisternino had, we'd be winning every fucking game. Wow.
That's awesome.
So for me, it's always been if I set my mind to do something, it's at some point going to get done. And it might not get done the first time. I might fail 20 times before I do it. But at some point along the fucking line, it's going to get done. Like I came back this from double shoulder surgery. I took 3rd and 4th place. I was pissed fucking off like you wouldn't believe it. I didn't show it. But when I tell you I will be back at the Olympia next year, that is not a maybe. That is 110%. I will be on that fucking stage. Doesn't matter what fucking happens, but I will make it a point to win another show and be on that stage next year. And until I'll be on that stage until that will be the stage that I retire on.
I give you a lot of credit because I think it was Chicago. I definitely would have had you a little bit higher for sure. And, you know, I'm always watching the faces of the guys who I'm looking to see if they're going to call them out. And then when they don't call them out, I kind of want to see the reaction because some people just lose their shit. You could see them right away. They start shaking their head or, you know, and you kept yourself composed. You didn't flip out. And,
well, with Chicago, I talked to the judges. So with Chicago, back to my great luck. Yeah. I threw my back out. And I don't take pain meds because I'm allergic to so much. The doctor called me an Ultram. I don't know if you know what that is. No. It's a pain med. Well, he wrote 100 mgs every 4 to 6 hours on the script. Dropped over at the pharmacy. Pharmacy called me back. They don't make it in 100 milligrams. They only make it in 50. You got to have the doctor recall in the script. Okay. Told the doctor. He's like, no problem. Call back in. Picked it up. Now I picked it up. But the script that he originally wrote said 100 milligrams every 4 to 6 hours. Right. Now the pills that I got said 50 mgs every 4 to 6 hours. Now, I went off of what the doctor told me, which was 100. Right. So I took, instead of 1 every 4 to 6 hours, I took 2. Right. I was like, this is for my back. Yeah. It's not like a Percocet about like any of that shit. Yeah, yeah. Because I can't take anything with codeine in it. So I was popping 2 every couple hours. And then I ended up only getting 2 hours of sleep because I was up till 5 a.m. And then I left at 7 for the airport. So I wake up after like sleep for an hour and I throw up a little bit. And I'm like, must be acid reflux or something weird. I felt fine. Getting ready. All of a sudden, right before I walk out the door, I'm like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Ran to the bathroom, puked my fucking brains out. What the fuck's going on? Get in the car. My buddy's taking me to the airport. I make a pullover. I puke 4 times on the way to the airport.
Damn.
Get to the airport. Check in. Get on the plane. Flying. All of a sudden, we get to 30,000 feet. I'm like, oh, I feel good. I eat a meal, hanging out. All of a sudden, my stomach fucking turns. And I'm like, I get up. I run to the bathroom. Bathroom's fucking locked.
Oh.
Run back to my seat. I grab one of the fucking bags, and I just fucking I plaster it to my face, and I'm just throwing up in this bag.
Oh,
and the fucking bag is just filling up. I filled up the whole fucking bag.
Jesus.
And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I land in Chicago. I get an Uber. I puke. I make the Uber driver pull over. I puke violently outside the Uber driver. And there was actually blood in my vomit. And I started getting nervous. And I'm like, fuck. And I calmed myself down. I stopped throwing up. And then I started going to the bathroom. Well, not to be disgusting, but my stool was black. And I was like, something's not right. So I Googled that medicine. And the overdose effects are black stool, which is blood, vomiting. Those two I had. And I had black stool for 4. That was done Wednesday. My stool. I know I'm like, people are gonna be like, what the he's talking about his shit. Well, this is real life, Pete. This is what happened.
Yeah, shit.
So my shit didn't go back to like a normal color until Sunday. Well, I fucking go on stage. If you saw me in Chicago, they took me from all the way to the left and put me dead center. Yep. And I was having breathing problems. I don't know if you remember that. I was having problems catching my breath.
You looked uncomfortable. That's all I remember.
Yeah. So I come home from Chicago on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm training legs. And I'm like, Ron, I'm dying in the gym. When I tell you huffing and puffing, my buddy always calls me Wolverine. He's like, I've never seen somebody who could do drop sets, supersets, strip sets. He goes, and be ready to go a minute later. He goes, I don't know how you do it. So I couldn't catch my breath. And Chris was giving me like his burgers and fucking muffins. And I was like, it's got to be from all the food. Well, that night, thank God, I got an alert that Red Cross needed blood donations. So I was like, I scheduled that. I had the app on my phone because I'm always donating blood every, so I go to get blood on Thursday morning.
Yeah.
The lady goes, like, prick your finger. They check your hemoglobin. I'm like, here you go. She goes, puts in the machine. Beep. And she goes, I hear her go, I can't be right. And I was like, she's like, let me prick another finger. I'm like, pricks my finger. My fucking hemoglobin was almost 9.
What's normal?
For me, 16, 17. Okay. Average adult, 13 to 14.
Wow.
She gets her supervisor. She goes, you might want to go to your doctor like right now. She goes, you go any lower, you're gonna need a blood transfusion.
Oh my god.
So I go to my doctor, and he was like, you're missing like 40% oxygen in your blood. He was like, what? He goes, have you lost a lot of blood lately? And I'm like, yep. I go, I did. The fucking black stool was all blood.
Wow.
I had like a temporary ulcer. That's why I was fucking, that Ultram killed my stomach. I lost blood, lost oxygen, couldn't breathe on fucking stage, couldn't even carb up right because my blood was so goddamn fucking like diminished. And they put me on iron pills for 2 months.
Wow.
And I just donated blood last week, and my hemoglobin was back up to 13.6, which is still low. But I went there just because I wanted to see what it was. I was like, I want to go donate blood just to see my hemoglobin is. So it was 13.8, which is still low, but it's almost 4 points higher than what it was back in July. So
man,
it hasn't been an easy ride, Ron, at all, buddy.
I'm trying to think of who might have worse luck, and nobody really comes to mind at the moment. I mean, a lot of people have had like one terrible thing happen to them, but this is did you ever have like a girlfriend who practiced voodoo or Santeria that you dumped and really pissed off? Or this sounds like an occult thing.
Dude, something happened at some fucking point. There's got to be some sort of like little fucking doll somewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
World that somebody's fucking around with.
They got the shoulder. They put it in the car. Then they did the needles in the shoulders. Man, this is crazy.
How about this? You want just to top it off, Ron?
Sure.
Went to a wedding this past weekend.
Okay.
Walking out of my house, $2,000 David Yurman bracelet I have not worn yet.
Yeah.
My most expensive watch, took it off took my watch out of my case. Like I have like a little drawer. Took my watch, took the David German bracelet, put the watch on this thing that was like, you know how like watches usually you can put them on that like little pad that they come on. So like so the bracelet was on that, so I put my watch on it. Get to Long Island, going through my stuff. Can't find my fucking. I'm like, where's my watch? Where's my bracelet? I'm like, huh. Dug through all my bags, all my shit. Can't find it anywhere. Okay. Let me check my truck. Not my truck. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to check my security cameras because I have security cameras. I have 5 security cameras outside my house.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'll be able to see something. Went back to my security cameras on my phone. Walk out of the house, black box in my hand. I put it on the chair outside my door. Lock my door, pick it back up. Walk to my truck. Well, I parked on the side where you can't see my truck, so it's fine. So I'm waiting, watching the security camera. My truck starts to go in reverse. Yeah, well, I put the box on the back of my truck and never grabbed it. And I fucking backed out of my driveway and drove off with it on my truck. So 2.5 hours Long Island. 2.5 hours Long Island. I went to Bev's gym, worked out, drove back home. 2 hours. Got home at like 11:30 at night. Walked with flashlights up and down my entire fucking street, kicking fucking leaves up, looking all over for this box. Put a big sign in front of my yard. Said lost black box, watch and bracelet, cash reward with my phone number, thousands of dollars in jewelry.
Right.
I'm like, when does it end, Guy? When does it end, bro?
Well, if it was a mirror situation, it's 7 years. So let's do the math. No, 2011, you should be okay. You should have been okay in 2018.
I should have been okay last year.
Yeah. It should. Your time, your bad luck should be over by now. Something's wrong, man. We've been talking for a while. I'm gonna. One last thing I want you to clarify for people. Your nickname is Quadro. That's on all your clothing, all your merchandise.
Yes.
That you guys can get on GuyCisternino.com. I originally thought it was because your quads are awesome. You have great quads, but Quadro is not because of your quads. What does that nickname really mean?
So my buddy Chris LeCompte, God bless him, love him to death. He's one of my best friends. Yep. He's got triplet girls. He lives in Florida. You actually probably remember Chris. He competed back in the national stage. He was one of
I
my
remember Chris. I went down to Apollon Gym a couple times, and I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, Dorian. He was sponsored by Dorian Yates at the time. Yeah.
Yep. So he's in Florida now. He's got triplet girls.
Yep.
Him and his wife, and I was married at the time. And I was in my house, and he was just over hanging out, and I was actually going over clothing, like clothing designs and ideas, and he always called me the Scene because, and he was like, everywhere you go, whether he's like, it's usually never good. He's like, it's always bad. He's like, but there's always something going on where there's some sort of fucking scene around you. He's like, you can't go anywhere without something happening. So at my dinner table, he just Googled the Scene in Italian, whatever he Googled, and Quadro means like the scene or a scene, depending on how you use it in Italian. So he's like, at my dinner table, he's like, dude, he goes, this is like 2 birds with 1 stone. He was like, Quadro, your fucking quads, the Scene, your shirts, he's like, he's like, you don't use this, you're an idiot. Yeah. So I was like, actually, you know what? Sounds pretty fucking cool.
It did. I mean,
on a shirt and people still think it's because of my legs. I'm like, it actually has nothing to do with my job. I would never be that self-entitled or egotistical to name myself after like one of my body parts.
It's been done. I mean, there's a lot of
like Phil the Arms Heath. Like he's not going to call himself that.
There's a few guys on Instagram called like Bobby Biceps or Billy Biceps, and
and Danny Douchebag should be along the one of those too.
Another thing that I just want to say before we go is there's a lot of stereotypes. Somebody sees a name like Cisternino and you're from New Jersey. What are they going to think? Jersey Shore, Guido, just listens to electronic music. And I was shocked when, you drove us around in Pittsburgh. When I was there for Masters, you drove us to the gym. And
I already know where this is going. You're just going to have to comment about the music that was playing in my car.
Yes, country music. I'm like, I'm like, who? Because I know country's very, very popular now, but I just don't think anyone I know would like it. Even though, like, I have a whole bunch of family members who think it's the bomb.
Ron, you want here? Just before you leave, let me show you a little something. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you guys what I'm about. Just to give you a little insight here. All right.
Yeah. Boy.
This is my garage. This is okay. I'm a redneck, bro. This is my go-kart.
Oh my gosh.
Right here. My snow blower, my push mower, my rototill, my leaf blower, my compound bow, my pressure washer, my what do you call it? The this fucking
is it an air compressor?
It's a compressor.
Air compressor.
Yep. And then I got my ride-on tractor, my
step mill,
and then I got my recurve bow here. I'm just showing you what people think Jersey is, so you get a little better understanding of what it is that like I actually like what I'm about. Yeah. So in here, this is where the dogs usually stay. That's my gun case.
Oh wow,
my guns in it.
Look at that safe.
I'm going to show you guys why I live where I live, just so you guys have a little idea. There are these two. Hi.
Oh.
Hi. This is the one with the surgery on her knees. Hi.
Yes, look, she's holding up.
Hi, Mama. Hi, I know. So this is my view every night. I sit here every single night, and people go, "Why do you live in Jersey? Like, is it that nice?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Every night I come out here, and I have a big wraparound porch.
Yep.
And I just sit on my chair, and it's just you can't see, bro, but it is. There's just I got 2.5 acres, and it's just peace and fucking quiet, man.
Yeah, I think people forget that New Jersey does have a lot of rural areas still.
Dude, Jersey is
farmlands.
It's expensive. It's not a cheap place to live. My taxes are through the roof. But I love Jersey. I love the change of seasons. I love winter. People are like, oh, it's too cold, and I'm like, I don't want to be in a place like listen. Like last year, our winters weren't really winters, right? Our winters were like kind of like a joke.
Yeah.
So I like to change the seasons. I like hunting. I like fishing. I like outdoors. Like I don't like going to Florida and walking outside and sweating my balls off within 3 minutes. That's not fun.
I'm with you, dude. That's horrible.
I like the fall. I like the leaves falling. I like the smell. Like I like Christmas when it's cold. It's not Christmas when it's 90 degrees outside. It's not Christmas.
They try.
So I mean, I enjoy it. Some people think I'm crazy, but I grew up here. The only other place I would ever move to would be probably Texas.
Okay. Oh, I know. We got to cover one last thing. You are now an MFit supplements athlete. So how long you been with the company? What do you like about the company?
So I signed the contract with them. I think it was the end of February. It was right before the Arnold, so it had to be the end of February.
Okay.
And it was awesome, man. It was crazy how it happened. So this kid Nick Karolakis was friends with Gina, my girlfriend, and we were doing, or they were training together at that time. Or they were training at Bev's, and I guess he said like, "Hey, I have like a supplement company that I like. You're dating Guy, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so they started talking, and she was like, "Hey, my buddy Nick started a supplement company, and he wants to know if you're interested." And I'm like, "I'm not really interested in another startup company. Like I already did that with Centurion Labs. I was there for 5 years,
Right.
And it's not easy going to a startup company, but if you do it right and you do it well, and it all comes to fruition, it could be very profiting for everybody. So I kind of blew them off, to be honest with you, in the beginning, because I was like, this is not going to be worth my time. Like it's another startup company.
Right.
So after a couple of months, I'm like, you know what? Let me fucking see what this guy's about. So I drove all the way up to Hauppauge, Long Island, and I called him, the kid Nick, and I go, "Hey, bro, I'm here." I go, "Where are you?" And he's like, "You see the big building?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm in the parking lot." He goes, "All right, just come inside." I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool." I'm in fucking sweatpants, a t-shirt, and like a jacket, like a hoodie. Like, I'm thinking there's going to be like some hole in the fucking wall. Like, I'm like, I go on interviews. I got suits on, long sleeve shirt, button up. I was like, this is just a kid. I'm going to meet with him. And he's like, no. He's like, I go, you guys rent a little space inside? He's like, no, this is our office.
Wow.
Wait, what? And he's like, yeah, dude. So I walked inside. So the one thing that really caught my eye with them, number one, the owner, Emma, has got to be the hardest working woman I've ever met in my entire life. She owns a multi-million-dollar company. She started the company in China. She now has MFIT actually has a Chinese line separate from the U.S. line. They're owned by ANZ Pharmaceutical, which is a company that Emma owns. Which, if you ever been in like Walgreens or Rite Aid or CVS, there's something called D-Cal, which is a vitamin D and calcium. They own, that's their one of their big products. So they do a lot of in-house manufacturing. They are GMP certified. They're FDA inspected. And with all the nasty shit going on in the industry, with people spiking the protein, falsifying labels, label claims, just not doing the right thing.
Right.
It was really nice to see a company come out of the gates doing things right. Nick is a mad scientist with his formulas. He's absolutely, Nick Karolakis is one of the most smart individuals when it comes to science that I think I've met in the industry. And we all, me, John Frame, Emma, Denise, even Maria, who is one of the athletes and is Arash's girlfriend, Oliver, like we just all work very well together and we complement each other. And it's not like I'm an athlete, you're a boss. Like, we're all equals in this together. And it's been an awesome ride. I mean, we've had a huge booth at the Arnold. We had a huge booth at the Olympia. We just got approved in Australia for distribution. We're going to Dubai in December for the Dubai Mall. Like, we're just doing so much as a new startup company. And it's awesome. It's because the brand's gaining so much momentum and traction. Like, we just put out a CBD product. Our CBD product is we have the most CBD we have 25 milligrams of CBD in our pills, which is the most CBD in any product across anybody could put out so far.
Wow.
Nobody even touched that dosage so far. So it's like, and if you were going to buy a CBD product, or you were going to buy a protein product, or you were going to buy a fat burner, if you put two products on the side, and one of them is from a pharmaceutical company, and one of them is from Joe Schmo's fucking protein house, if you're a smart motherfucker, you're probably going to go with the one that's got a little more backing behind it,
Yeah, I would.
So,
I'd like to know what I'm getting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're awesome. MFitSups.com. Check them out. I mean, it is the fastest growing brand. We got Rookie of the Year brand on Price Plow. I mean, we're doing big things. It's awesome. And with the backing with MFit and Gasp and Atomics, Steve Cardillo's always had my back. I mean, there's just a lot of good people in this industry, man. I've been really blessed with having the career that I have and doing what I do and making what I make. And I don't think it's because of being a good bodybuilder. I think it's just because you got to know how to hustle. And a lot of these people, I know we're like dragging this on, but
okay.
I know, I really hope some of these bodybuilders listen, because I hear so many bodybuilders, top friends of mine, 16 weeks out, I stopped traveling. Well, the fans don't always want to see you when you're fat. Like, I stopped traveling 2 weeks out. Like, I'm competing November 3rd. Well, guess what? Friday, I got to go to Columbus because I have an appearance on Saturday. And then I fly back Saturday night. Like, you have to be able to do the little things in order to get the big things in life. Like, you can't just expect to do the big things and get the big things and not do the little things in between to get there. Like, everybody wants to be like Insta famous, or they want to be a celebrity, they want to be a professional athlete, and then they get in the position and then they don't want to do. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to do anything with what you work so hard for. Like, I didn't earn my IBU Pro card to sit home and eat fucking chicken and rice all day and not do my due diligence as an IBB Pro and visit fans and visit accounts. And like that's why sponsorship, people say social media killed sponsorships, which absolutely did. But bodybuilders also killed sponsorships because they're fucking lazy. Most bodybuilders can't hang with me for fucking 48 hours because they wouldn't be able to fucking stay awake and handle what I handle through it every day. And they don't have the fucking energy for it. Because half of them fucking don't know what it's like. Well, so many of these bodybuilders wake up, do cardio, stay home, eat all day, go to the gym, come home, and go to bed and wake up and repeat. I don't do that at all. I'm not in my house 90% of the fucking time because I want to fucking hustle. I want to work. I want my brands. I want Gasp to make more money. I want MFit to do well and be prosperous and make a lot of money. I want Atomics to blow up. I want everybody that supports me and that I support to do well. And that doesn't happen if you're not hustling and you're not working.
Yeah, I mean, you look no further than Jay Cutler. He's probably the uber example of that. That's a guy who could have just hung out and waited for people to give him things and make him offers, but he hustled his ass off, and he's got all these sponsors that he.
Jay's one of my closest actual friends I talk to Jay probably more than anybody in the industry. I run anytime I make a big business decision or I'm thinking about sponsorships or whatever, I run it by him before anything because he knows his shit. Him and Chris Aceto, probably the two smartest businessmen in the industry that I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, especially Jay. So yeah, we've been at this a while. We got to do this again, Guy.
Absolutely, man. I'm always around, bro.
I'm sorry it took me so long. I apologize.
If you want to catch up in Romania before the show, I'll do this one. Just leave me alone. I'll be in Romania, bored out of my mind by myself.
Well, if let's hope you win that. But if not, I will be at the Legion show.
Okay.
So we'll see. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you don't go there.
Yeah, hopefully you don't have to be. I won't be in your preview for that one.
Well, you will be, but no. Hopefully you won't be because you'll already have won the Romania.
Exactly.
So I want to encourage everyone to go to his guy's Instagram. Is just his name, all lowercase, Guy Cisternino, and he does have a website, offers coaching, merchandise, GuyCisternino.com, and he's got two beautiful dogs there. Gonna let you get back to him. So good luck with the dieting, Guy. I appreciate you doing this at such a late hour and a stormy night like this.
I got another hour and a half where I gotta go to bed anyway.
Damn, dude. All right, so good luck in Romania. We'll be rooting for you.
All right.
And, everybody, thanks for watching Ronline Report. We appreciate it. Please subscribe and hit the notify. And that's all. This is Harris with Guy Cisternino. Thanks for watching.
Good, guys. Thanks, Ron.